the railroad workers have issued a statement. So this is from Railroad Workers United, and their press release says Railroad Workers United believe that railroad workers need to explore options other than the existing two political parties, since neither appear to have our backs. Sounds like the railroad workers are white supremacists.
That's exactly what I was saying. Look at that racist symbol
So
of
racist.
train of racism
They're just like truckers.
covering North America. Yeah.
They're almost as bad as truckers.
First of all, they're immature. Like, get over it. When I was a kid, I like little toy trains. I'm a grown up now.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That is, so now I've heard rumblings like this before, like after the 2016 election in Ohio, there was meetings and even the head of the teachers union attended and they were saying how we need a third party. I think that was a psyop. And now, but I don't think this is.
I think they got screwed pretty hard and took it pretty hard.
Yeah.
When you saw the CNN thing where they they sold Biden as the most pro-union guy. I mean, that's a bit of a...
So the Railroad Workers United also believes that railroad workers need to consider doing away with the archaic and divided craft union system that hampers our unity and solidarity, and initiate the process of building a single and powerful railroad workers union that can win in future rounds of contract bargaining. So now I don't know what craft union system is. Can you look that up? But my guess is that craft union system means, like, instead of having one union represent all the railroad workers, they have a patchwork of
like
it.
The switch guy.
And they're in the union, and we have this union and baggage handler
Why would they
union.
have it like that?
And I'm going to guess maybe to lessen the power of the worker.
So we only need two political parties, but we need our union to have like 50 different...
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I have this. Craft unionism refers to a model of trade unionism in which workers are organized based on a particular craft or trade in which they work.
Yeah, so it just divides them up. So there'll be the linemen, this, that, the porters, everybody.
If it's all the same
the
business,
engineers,
really,
the whole deal.
So like the Writers Guild and there's the actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to RWU organizer Ron Kamenkow, he said, "We've been played for well over a century by politicians and union officials alike.
Yeah.
The fiasco of recent months will show that perhaps the time has come for railroad workers to push for a unified and powerful labor organization of all crafts, together with a political party that will better serve the interest of not just railroad workers, but all working class people."
I hope they're going to stop this terrorism before it takes root. And sound like incel terrorism to me.
So now here, friend of the show, David Sirota, who likes to talk out of both sides of his mouth, and here's one side of his mouth. He says this: "I'm going to keep retweeting liberals like this who either don't know or don't care that it was the Democrats who passed a strike-breaking bill without adequate paid sick days. When workers' rights conflict with Democratic Party priorities, MSNBC lobotomized liberals happily shit on workers." He sounds pretty right-wing. You're coming after the MSNBC? You sound like a white supremacist,
so
David.
When you want to force the vote, then he's got to happily shit on that for the Democratic Party.
But now he's pretending to be, now on this side of his mouth, he's for worker rights and he hates MSNBC and the Democrats.
He's sick of
He's
it.
telling you that he's sick of the Democrats that he just told you to vote for, and he will tell you to vote for again. And he's sick of them so much.
So is it Michael Moore's turn to be wrong and his turn to be right about something, and then they switch off?
That's right. So he's so pissed off about it, he's willing to tell you to do nothing. He's willing to tell you to keep voting Democrat and keep donating to them. He'll never tell you to stop doing that. But here's his buddy, Ryan Grimm, the tag team of the fucking disinformers. He's claiming, and I'm not kidding, he's claiming that the unions wanted the Democrats to vote for the union busting bill. I'm not making it up. So there he is. He's on that Breaking Points with Sagar and Crystal.
Right, but he's on with Emily Jasinski.
Yeah, but he's on their network. They hired him to be on their network.
Fridays,
and so of course they hired him because he's a gaslighter. So here he is lying. So he's contradicting David Sirota says it was the Democrats. Ryan Grimm says, no, they were supposed to do this. So who's the liar? Or is it both of them? So he says they had no good options, just different bad ones. They wanted to make a stink about the sick days. They believed they could do that better with votes in both the House and Senate than just with speeches and no vote. You're such a fucking liar.
Wait, is he talking about some heads
He's
of it?
talking about he's protecting the squad who voted to break the union in the House. And he's saying that they had no good options and that they thought doing this was the best way to help workers. That is such a goddamn lie. You understand what's happening here, right?
Is he dating them? Why does he do this? Like, what does he get from them?
Well, he's being paid by a couple of billionaires, right?
They like the squad? Like,
and they, and, right? So he's not really going to go against... So he's there to protect politicians, the ones he has access to. When AOC goes to do an interview, she goes to Ryan Grimm.
Oh, yeah, and he gives her a tough but fair interview.
So that's what this is all about. This is him and like Cenk Uygur, and they protect politicians. They'll never pressure them. And do you see this lie?
Yeah, well...
Do you see this lie that he's literally saying that the squad, everybody, even his friend David Sirota is calling out the Democrats.
And Bernie said they had one victory, that they did get some people to vote.
Right. Yeah.
Lost.
But here he is. So here's his buddy David Sirota telling you Democrats are pieces of shit. Here he is saying the Democrats are great people because they really tried.
Oh my God. It's like
which one's full of shit?
This is like when Macho Man Randy Savage turned on Hulk Hogan, but then they became friends again, but then fought again.
So in this case, Ryan Grimm is the guy who's the transparent full of shit guy. David Sirota is hiding it. But this guy's totally full of shit, and now we see it. But he does a great work over at Sagar and Crystal's show. If you'd like to get apologies for politicians while fucking lying to you and gaslighting you, you should go over to Breaking Points when he's on, because they love that shit over there.
It's the weekend show, like when you can cut back and really,
cut back and just
really
get the corporate propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, hey, unbutton your shirt collar.
Saturday already?
That's
Ryan
right.
Grimm's
Loosen up. So here, these are the actual workers. These are the BMWED is a national union representing the workers who build and maintain the tracks, bridges, buildings, and other structures on the railroad of the United States. So what they said was this: the only chance we had at obtaining sick leave was to pass both bills in the House. So do you understand that this is what those guys were talking about? Our union leadership is full of shit. So this is one of those unions.
Oh, that's why Ryan Grimm, because he's
that's why Ryan. So Ryan Grimm is now going to glom onto this because they're propping up AOC. So instead of actually listening to the actual workers, he's going to now quote corrupted union leaders who are fucking throwing their union members under the bus. Wow. We all know, just like David Sirota said, that the Democrats fucking did this, but now Ryan Grimm and his corrupted union leader of one of those unions is going to try and pretend that it didn't happen.
I love how Ryan always has the most empathy for like the leaders of the thing,
right,
and none for the people. Like, what a scumbag, dude.
So the only chance we had at obtaining sick leave was to pass both bills. No, the chance that you had at obtaining sick leave was a strike that you would have won immediately. And when the Democrats passed that bill, they broke your union. They took away your right to organize. And now Ryan Grimm is trying to make excuses for them, for those Democratic politicians that even his fucking buddy David Sirota won't excuse anymore. But Ryan Grimm's still doing it. You should go see his great work with Sagar and Crystal. He does great work. That's why they want him on their show, because he's an apologist for politicians, a liar to his own viewers. So come on, Breaking Points, and lie to our viewers. That's what they're the new mainstream. That's what mainstream news. What do you think mainstream news journalists do? Mainstream news journalists lie to you at the behest of their owners, and that's what he does, and that's what he's doing here.
I mean, the only thing better than Ryan Grimm that I enjoy more is seeing a nice Kyle Kalinske with dyed blonde hair for some reason.
Me too.
With M&M hair.
I'm all for it. I love it.
Analyzing the Matt Taibbi leaks.
And so he retweets that guy out saying, look, this is confirming.
AOC has always had our back and we thank her.
This is that not only was this bad for the railroad workers, Kurt, it was also bad for airline flight attendants. This is from. So this guy tweeted this out. He's from an NBC reporter. And Sarah Nelson, the president of the Association of Flight Attendants Union, which also bargains under the same labor laws as rail workers, said that the move to preempt the strike could potentially hamper her workers as well, many of whom are in the midst of negotiating new contracts with the major airlines. So not only did this screw railroad workers, but it also screws airline workers. And Ryan Grimm's probably going to say it's great when they break the airlines union too. He'll protect his access to those politicians who screw over the flight attendants.
Hey, the lesser of two evils. You got to pick one lesser.
This was a direct attack on the right to strike for the people I represent, she said. The message that they're sending is that they are siding with bosses, whether they intend to it or not. Fair collective bargaining includes the right to strike, so everyone has something to lose. Nelson said that she felt like Congress's decision to resolve the disagreement instead of letting the two parties sort it out would reinforce negative images of Washington. All this does is disenfranchise people because the message is being sent that your voice doesn't matter, she said. What you're doing is you're telling people everywhere there's no way to solve problems together, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing on Capitol Hill with parties taking positions rather than coming together and solving the issues of the day. So
grow up.
Even Jacobin disagrees with Ryan Grimm. This is from Jacobin. Now, Jacobin. But here's what they say. The course they ultimately chose was a very different one because their sole imperative was preventing a strike, whether the people who run America's railroads have basic dignity or not. Confronted with the all-important question, which side are you on? Senior Democrats aligned themselves and the federal government with CEOs and shareholders while hanging workers out to dry, and no amount of partisan spin can alter or obscure that fact. Hey, wait a minute. I got some spin for you. They had no good options. They just had bad ones. This was the best set. There's your spin.
Yeah.
Jacobin, you're wrong. Ryan Grimm from The Intercept and Breaking Points and TYT, he has, isn't it perfect? He works at all those places.
Of course.
Of course he does. He's got spin for you, Jacobin. Go ahead, Kurt.
And if that's not good enough for you, okay, that's spin, Jacobin. Hold your opinion until you see the head of the Bank of America on CNN to explain if unions are good or not.
Yes. Why doesn't Breaking Points just bring on the head of the Bank of America to tell them that the union strike was bad? Well,
they stood with Ukraine, and that's what's important.
So there, that is. So there you go. So that we got a message from the press. They say we should go third party. They got screwed over so hard by the Democrats. They say go third party. The guy from The Intercept and the Young Turks and Breaking Point says, no, the Democrats did great. Go get your news from that guy.
Jimmy, I just got a text here regarding Kyle Kalinski's dyed blonde hair. I didn't know this. He dyed his hair for a Halloween costume with Crystal, where they went as Kelly and Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. So he was really committing to the bit. Imagine he committed to the force the vote for healthcare bit that hard as that mistake of a hair color for a stupid costume no one cares about. I hate all these people, you know.
I love blonde hair. Hey, we're doing live stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, December 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. And we're going to be in Tempe, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Nashville. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets. See you there.